So compassion for the confusion, compassion,
Absolutely.
Mercy, tenderness, patience, but redefining reality is never going to heal us. It's only going to cement us in our dysfunction and inability to understand who we really are. Jason, I recently saw on YouTube a comment from a world leader who shall for the moment remain nameless.
Okay.
Who said the following about the global gender theory, confusion, chaos. This is what he said. He says, this new gender ideology, I want you to guess who this is.
Okay.
This new gender ideology is very much like the coronavirus pandemic. New strains keep popping up and we can't get away from it. What we need is to look for a proper antidote. If someone thinks that a man and a woman are the same, so be it. However, there is still some common sense in the world. I think in the United States, a prisoner convicted of rape declared himself a woman and demanded that he be transferred to a woman's prison. So they did, and he promptly raped his female cellmate. There should be some semblance of common sense in everything. Or take athletes. A man declares himself a woman and competes, say, in weightlifting or some other sport. Women's sport will cease to exist completely. There must be some common sense. I uphold the traditional approach that a woman is a woman, a man is a man, a mother is a mother, a father is a father. Any guesses?
A world leader.
A world leader, like global dude. Like, I'm not here to endorse his other policies and what he's about, but I found this fascinating that he said this.
I have no idea who that is.
Starts with a V.
Oh my.
V.
Oh, Putin.
Yeah.
From Russia.
Vladimir
okay.
Putin.
Okay, I believe that.
Interesting, huh?
Yeah.
What struck you in that?
What struck me was the common sense. The common sense aspect. Yeah, which again, ignoring whatever else I might want to bring to the table in the background of Putin.
Yeah. Just so everybody knows.
Yes.
All that aside, we are not endorsing Putin here, but we're finding it interesting that a world leader is saying this, because you're not finding many world leaders talking about this.
No, that's true. Yeah, that is fascinating, and I can't find much fault with what you just read, and it's the tragic stories over and over what we're dealing with. I mean, the rape story that is horrific. That's brutal.
Yeah, and where we go when we lose sight of how our bodies ground us in reality. I'll often say, you've heard me say this many times, what happens when we try to identify somebody without identifying his or her body? We quite literally identify no body. And all this talk about identity in the modern world, with the embrace of this ideology, we are very quickly becoming a culture of quite literally no bodies. We are losing all sense of what it means to be human. And these are just a few of the symptoms. And at the same time, I have a profound compassion here. Like, there are young girls, and this seems to be where the uptick is. So many young girls are claiming, I'm not a girl, I'm a boy. And somebody pointed this out to me recently. I don't know who it was, but it made sense to me. I was like, oh my gosh, that makes sense. And I had compassion. These young girls are getting exposed to violent pornography. It's available on any smartphone, on any screen, with an internet connection. And, when you and I were young and going through all those stages of curiosity, and we weren't being fed in healthy, holy ways, we had to go find somebody in the neighborhood whose dad had a stash of Playboy magazines or something. We're not talking, that's not good either, but we're not talking about that kind of pinup or picture of naked people. We're talking about violent, horrific things I won't even mention that goes on in porn that people are bringing up on their smartphones. And when young girls are exposed to this, And also they're exposed to boys who are feeding on this all the time and want this behavior from them. It's no wonder that they're saying, I don't want to be a girl. If that's what it means to be a girl, I don't want to be that. So compassion for the confusion, compassion,
Absolutely.
Mercy, tenderness, patience, but redefining reality is never going to heal us. It's only going to cement us in our dysfunction and inability to understand who we really are. And I do think that Vladimir Putin here, Putin, I don't even know how to say it, is wanting to inject some common sense.
Yeah, it's the identity struggle today is brutal. It is brutal. And you have 5 children, I have 5 children. And we've homeschooled most of the time, not entirely, but in large part, on my end, in large part because I want to preserve that identity.
Yeah.
I want their identity to flow from our faith, from the family. I want their paradigm to be mom and dad and a loving family. And again, we're broken, we make mistakes, and so I'm not pretending that we're perfect. But that's where I want their identity to flow from, so they go out into the world from that. Because it's harder and harder in today's world to trust any other sense of identity out there, because identity has lost meaning. Identity just becomes whatever you decide you want it to be at whatever stage or phase of life you're in. And that is, if you really play that out, and it's not hard to, because we see people around us doing that, that is brutal. That is rough business. That is hard, so harsh on the human soul and human spirit.
Yeah, and it is literally death dealing. Because when we separate the body and the soul, that's the very definition of death. The separation of body and soul. We are instituting a certain kind of death here in rupturing human identity.
You know, I want to stop you there for a second, because you say that a lot, and it can sound, if somebody's following you a lot, it can sound kind of cute and clever, a little bit of statement. But I want to encourage, if you've heard Christopher say that before, like really press into that, because obviously the separation of body and soul is our definition of death. But really look into that, and what we're talking about in the modern world, isn't that our experience of sin, first of all, period.
Yeah.
Anything that's sinful deals
Ruptures
death,
us, causes death
to varying degrees.
Yeah.
And so when we take it so far as altering our body and destroying our identity of the very nature of who we are, understanding who we are, there's no good fruit that comes from that.
Yeah. We at the Theology of the Body Institute, our mission is to uphold to the world that Christianity is not salvation from the body. It is salvation of the body. We invite you to learn more about our work. Check the links below to learn more about the courses we offer, the resources we offer, to dive into this glorious truth of the redemption and the salvation of our whole humanity, body and soul. And hey, by the way, I did a whole series of videos on our channel regarding this gender identity issue. If you want to check those out, go to the link right here.